Or otherwise, you can watch the recording later on. That's also fine if you're uh, busy with the household work, not to worry. Okay. So I have taken up the subject very briefly, though. Every point in it could be further illustrated separately. So Babuji is saying whatever we discussed yesterday is taken up only at a very briefly. And we were just elaborating on that today. What happens to the willpower when all this process occurs? Now, not only what happens to the willpower, what happens to the different aspects of the functioning of the mind is also another question that we have to ask ourselves. The circumstances for the process of bhoga, which may be from the external or internal, are thus created. The external help comes in the form of suffering caused by the wrong done by others, against which people generally poison their thought on account of their own ignorance. So somebody does something, so they are actually helping you to get some samskaras to the surface as bhoga. So rather than actually being grateful to them, we actually poison our mind about them. This is very improper because this action, having helped the process of purification, has in fact put you under a sense of obligation. So rather than being obligated or under a sense of gratitude to these people who have actually brought about this purification, because we attach ourselves to the mind and the body and our likes and dislikes and our desires, we actually poison our mind against these people. When this is the case, the work done through the external agency, it may be any, has in other words rendered the function of a true friend. Even though it might appear that they are actually causing you suffering, they are actually acted as a true friend because they have actually helped in your purification. Okay. This may seem to be an uncommon approach since this basic philosophy was never taken into account before for the reason that it came out simply in the form of an advice to take everything as coming from the Lord so that the feelings of resentment may not arise and one may not lose nobility of character. You remember many of the elders advise whatever happens in life, take it as coming from God. You remember that? Many people give that as advice. Now, why do they advise? It is that advice is based on what we are now reading in Maxim 7. That whatever happens, even people who appear to do something wrong to you actually are helping in your purification. They are bringing the samskaras to bhoga. That's why you're getting that suffering. So, not to have any bad, what do you say, intentions or thoughts about these people. But then, when people used to give the advice that think that everything is coming from the Lord, they were not giving you the reason why you should think so. What Babuji has now elaborated is the reason why you should think so, that as everything is coming from the Lord. Thus, it is quite evident that anything that comes to us for our ultimate good, may be from any medium, fills our heart with delight and promotes in us a sense of gratitude. So, when we are able to catch this philosophy rightly and go along with it, you will actually recognize that each of these people are actually helping you evolve further in your spiritual journey. Since they are helping you in your spiritual journey, you feel a lot of gratitude in your heart for them. In that way, you don't take your mind in the negative direction. You don't think about it negatively. Neither you poison your mind, nor you actually evolve by developing the feeling of gratitude inside. You actually become more evolved spiritually. Now the question comes when somebody is doing something wrong to me, how can I express feeling of gratitude to them? If I express the feeling of gratitude to them, they'll do more to me. Right? This is a very simple question that will come into our mind all the time. The correct picture of what is happening to you will only be grasped to the extent that you have developed subtlety. You remember one question Daji asks, or Joshua asks Daji in heartfulness way, what to pray for to different people in different circumstances. You remember that question? How do I know what to pray for in different set of circumstances for different people? Daji says, listen to your heart, right? Now, come back to here. When you are in heartfulness, as you progress through the meditation on the heart, and the mind becomes less and less active, so to say, when somebody does something wrong to you, and you are able to keep the reaction of the mind under check, you will still be able to grasp what is emanating from the heart. You will feel lighter, you will feel more happier inside, although at one level you might be suffering. In other words, the heart will give you a different indication and the mind will give you a different indication. When you are able to catch the indications from the heart, then the unnecessary reaction of the mind will gradually settle down. But if there are certain situations where the heart is also at difficulty, then the mind will obviously try to react and protect itself. So, the answer to that particular question, do we need to go and express gratitude to the people who do harm to us? The answer to that question is look at the indications that is coming from your heart. You can have a feeling of gratitude inside, you don't need to go and tell them. But when you are actually having this feeling of gratitude over a period of time, what you will see is that the other person who are actually trying to harm you, they also get modified because of the influence of your heart's condition. That is what happens eventually. Okay. So it's a very perfectly logical question to ask. If I go and express gratitude for all the everything wrong which is committed to me by somebody, are we not encouraging them to commit more wrongs to us? You don't need to do that. Okay. You can just be quiet in your heart, have the feeling of gratitude without poisoning your mind. You are still evolving inside. The changes that you undergo inside because of the way that you have handled the situation will make them also evolve. Okay. So I can see that